Okay, let's jump into that problem of the day. As usual, make sure you're answering the questions that I ask out loud and think about how your work that you did on the Draw It slide is the same or different from what we talk about together. So, as usual, there's a lot of different ways you could have represented this problem. How would you have done it if you were going to use a tape diagram to represent? Go ahead and say it out loud. Okay, right. We'd have two parts. Right? And one part would be 8 ounces because we know from the story the backpack weighs 8 ounces. The other part would be 2 3/4 pounds, right? Because we know that all the books, that's how much the books weigh. And then the total would be a variable. I like T for total. That's the unknown. And that would be the weight of the backpack plus, right, or and books together. Okay, cool. So we've got different units here, right? We've got pounds and ounces. Should we convert from ounces to pounds or pounds to ounces, and why? Go ahead and say it out loud. Right, we're going to go ahead and go from pounds to ounces because the problem asks us what is the weight in ounces of that backpack with the books in it. And what ratio are we going to use to help us convert? Say it out loud. Yes. 16 ounces in 1 pound. Great, got it. Okay. What makes this conversion a little bit tricky? Say it out loud. Right. Our pounds is a mixed number, right? 2 pounds is not going to be a problem. We've done that before. But we also have 3/4 of a pound that we need to convert into ounces. So last year, my students thought it was really helpful to use a tape diagram actually to help them when they were trying to convert fractions or decimals of units. So I thought we'd try that out. Okay, we're going to draw the tape diagram. And this is going to represent our whole. And our whole is going to be 16 ounces. Because we're going from pounds to ounces. So in 1 pound, there's 16 ounces. That would be a whole. So what should we partition this tape diagram into? How many pieces? And why that number of pieces? Go ahead and say you're thinking out loud. Yeah, we're going to partition it into 4 equal parts. Right? Because we are trying to figure out in 3/4 pounds, right? How many ounces are there? So the fraction we're working with here has a 4 in the denominator. That means our whole is divided into 4 equal groups. Okay, and now if we know that we've got 16 total ounces, and we know that that's divided into 4 parts, how many ounces would go into each part and why? Say it out loud. Yeah, 4. Right? If we have 16 and we divide that into 4 equal parts, there will be 4 ounces in each part. Cool. Okay, so then how can we figure out how many ounces are equal to 3/4? How would we do that? Go ahead and say you're thinking out loud. Yeah, we can shade in 3 of the 4 parts because the numerator of our fraction is 3. So we know that means we're referring to 3 parts, right? So 1, 2, and 3. Great. So since there's 4 ounces in each part, that means that we're going to have 4, 8, actually 12 ounces. So 3/4 of a pound equals 12 ounces. Cool. All right. So if you want to use a tape diagram to help convert a fractional part of a unit, like we had here, what do you need to be asking yourself and thinking about? Go ahead and say it out loud. I bet you said something like this, right? What's the whole? How many parts do I need to divide that whole into? And then what would go into each part? So I want to go ahead and read these together to make sure we're really clear on these thinking questions that can help us do this. So read this with me. We can use a tape diagram to convert fraction and decimal measurements, thinking about what is the whole, how many total parts do I have, and what is the amount in each. Okay, so how do we go ahead now back to our problem? How do we move forward and solve, right? We figured out in 3/4 pound, there's 12 ounces. What next? Say it out loud. Right. We've got our other 2 pounds, right, from here that we haven't converted yet. Take that times 16 ounces in each pound, and we get 32 ounces. Yep. And then we've got 32 ounces, right, plus 12 ounces that came from our 3/4 pound. That's going to give us 44 ounces. And then what do we need to do last to finish up solving this problem? Go ahead and say it out loud. Right. We take the 44 ounces that we got from converting the weight of the books into from pounds to ounces, and we add the 8 ounces that we had from the backpack, and that is going to give us 52 ounces.